College football is currently at an all-time high in popularity. Whether fans tune in to watch their alma mater, the next wave of NFL talent, or alumni of their hometown high school team, the sport dominates weekly Saturday television ratings each fall. But along with this rise in viewership has also come the rise of the national news coverage surrounding it. Whether this is in the form of daily shows purely dedicated to college football on each national sports channel, or the plethora of online blogs discussing a certain team, the size and scope of the media surrounding this American pastime has quickly followed suit. This obsession doesn't end when a national champion is crowned each January, as the offseason now delivers constant streams of information regarding coaching hires and player development, among others. The most important of these topics, though, is recruiting. Whether this shows itself in the absolute pandemonium found in fan chat rooms, or the day-long special ESPN dedicates each February to National Signing Day, the tracking of 18-year-olds' decisions on where to attend school for the next 3 to 4 years has become a full-blown obsession for the modern college football fan. The problem lies in the fact that the majority of recruiting information is gathered through coaches or writers with little input publicly available from the actual recruits. For this reason, we decided to take a deep dive into the current landscape of college football recruiting from a player's perspective. We will explore each step of the process from the eyes of current as well as former recruits and uncover the actual truth behind the scenes.
It started after I played my first year of varsity football, which was my sophomore year. So that winter afterwards, coaches started coming in and giving me interest and talking to me, and then that summer afterwards was when it really started kicking up.
Okay, yeah, so that kind of started probably around like my 9th and 10th grade year. It started out, pretty slow, like a school here, a D1AA school here, JMU, or, Maine or Stony Brook, little schools like that. And then it kind of just dominoed into, now I was getting, my junior year of high school, I was getting, letters from Michigan State, Penn State, all the big major D1s, and getting invited to come to junior days and stuff like that.
It kind of starts your junior year. So you send your junior film out. Coaches come and visit the school through your head coach, and people who are interested, they like what you do. They'll come, they'll talk to you, they'll talk about their school, they'll talk about what they have to offer, and that's kind of just like the first steps of the process.
Now, while most recruits will receive interest from college coaches, their high school coaches can be the make or break factor in the quality and quantity of attention they ultimately receive.
The high school I went to, my coach had connections with a number of different universities and schools locally in Chicago area. And we would go to different events in the summertime once school let out, and after we finished our spring football practices, we'd go to different weekend events at schools, local schools. I think the furthest we went might have been Bowling Green, where we'd go to the schools and go through what they call 7-on-7 camps, where it would just basically be the skill positions, and we would do tournaments throughout the weekend at these different schools. And doing that got us in touch with a lot of the different schools and got them more familiarized with us as potential prospects.
Yeah, it's no knock to Mr. Romano, but he did really do shit, honestly, in the process of things. He tried. I would say this, that he was aboard for the Big 33 game in Pennsylvania, which is like all like the all-star players like in Pennsylvania. It's 33 of them come together on, and make a team out of them, and then they play against like the west side of the state. So I did say he did get me nominated to that, but by the time he got me, nominated to that, and they did all that, I was already, I got committed. I was, I finally got my offer, that D1 offer that I was looking for. I already put the deposit down to senior week. I was like, man, I ain't playing that damn game. I'm going to college, right?
Yeah, so my coaches have actually really helped me out with a lot of this recruiting things, with setting up the times and dates to meet these coaches at school. But I've also been doing a little self-promoting myself with social media posts on the sites of Huddle and all that good stuff.
High school coaches can be instrumental in the recruiting process. but factors such as size and academics can often prove more important in the eyes of college coaches and evaluators.
What I've learned is at the high Division One level, there's a checklist, and a lot of coaches will tell you straight up, like, this is what we're looking for, and if you don't have that, then they're just not for us. So there's obviously a grade checklist, there's a height and weight checklist, and then there's a skill checklist. So my grades are all right, nothing serious. I'm about average, your average student. I'm 5'8". Last season I weighed 160 pounds. I gained 10 pounds over the year. Now I weigh 170 pounds. And for a lot of Division I schools, that's not enough for a running back. So honestly, I think my size plays a little bit into it. That's kind of held me back so far.
Its size is huge. Guys like Tyreek and guys like Ricky Ortega at Coatesville, they may not get the higher looks that they think they deserve. I think Tyreek is a heck of a player, and I think Ricky's a heck of a player too. But they're too small, and the problem is you can't really work with that. You can't really build onto that. A guy like a lot of the Kansas State commits are like 6'4", 6'5", maybe a little like on the thinner side. But they, I heard them talking. They're just, being able to put on, you have the ability to put on the weight. Size is something you can't teach, and that's something they always say. You can't teach being tall. You can teach being, smart, and you can teach a little throwing mechanics and all that, but you can't teach 6'4". And that was a huge advantage for me. I would say, when they came in, and coaches see, the grades was huge, and then the size. And, you see that and, I want to meet this kid. That happened all the time with me. And then obviously from there it goes to the film and the highlight tape and, all that stuff. And the process goes on from there.
If I had at least like 2 more inches on me, I wouldn't be at ULM. I'd probably be at LSU or something.
Yeah.
They just, it's kind of like true to like size does matter in college because like I play O-line and D-line and I'm the smallest on both sides. And them dudes like 6'5", 380. They like my junior tape. They like, they want to see more coming senior year, stuff like that. And then it all came down to the grades. Honestly, for me, it was for grades, and I didn't have them at that point. And it was kind of like a thing where me and Mr. Kissel like had to sit down. I don't even think he's there anymore. Had to sit down and I basically got into all honors classes and just had to like buckle down and do work and had to get my GPA up because I wasn't doing shit in school. So it literally just had to happen. I finally, my SAT scores and my GPA finally matched up. I was like cleared for the clearinghouse for NCAA, and then that's kind of when like a couple more offers that came in.
Oh, all the time. The first question that coaches ask when they come in to see Coach Milano is, let me see these guys with a 3.0 GPA and higher. Like, I just want to see your best players with a 3.0 and higher, and sometimes for some guys it takes them out of the equation. And, a lot of those schools, especially the higher academic schools, they literally, it doesn't matter how good you are, they won't even look at you if you're not, at their academic level. And I would say in my situation, I did well in school and I have 4.4 GPA and that helped a lot. I'm not going to lie. It gave me a lot of different options. It gave me the Ivy League. It gave me the, high Power 5 offers. So, it really allowed me to branch out a little more and have a lot of options when it came down to it.
Well, I'd say they acted as if it was important, but depending on the actual schools, some schools didn't. Once they realized that I had a decent GPA and then my standardized test scores were above average, they didn't ask or inquire about it anymore. I think I got pushback maybe from one school, Stanford. And that was after I took the ACT through my school and I got a pretty good score on it, a score that no other school had questioned me on, but they asked if I'd be open to take it again. They didn't withhold the offer, but they just wanted to know if I would take it again. They still ended up offering it, even though I didn't take it again. But that was one school that showed a little bit more interest of making sure that I'd be able to keep up with the pace of the school.
While possessing superhuman size or maintaining a 4.0 GPA can wow prospective colleges, recruits still need a vehicle to get these numbers in front of coaches. Camps, recruiting sites, and social media often appear to be the most tried and true methods of doing this. But high school players often experience different levels of success when utilizing these tools.
I think camps and whatnot were still important, but Rivals was the predominant source of where a lot of coaches got their information. Max Preps, I think, was around, and a couple of 22 words.
Yeah, 24/7. Yep.
Yeah. So that stuff was out, but Rivals dominated that whole internet market.
Twitter was more like back when I was like in high school and stuff. Twitter was more just like fun. Yeah. There wasn't like. It wasn't as active as it is now. Like everybody was just like, wanted to just, communicate back and forth, say little stupid shit while you're in school. Yeah. If you lost your phone, you hop on somebody's shit and like go communicate with them on there, like, or whatever. Your parents took your shit. Like, so it really wasn't, I didn't think it was anything like, too crazy or anything that was like really recruiting wise that made like a big standpoint. I know my name was mentioned a few times on there, like just like Nate Heckerberger, like whoever, all those dudes, they would be like, hey, Elijah Wilkinson, whatever. They would put up a video during the game or something and be like, oh, he's Elijah Wilkinson blocking on a toss, or Elijah Wilkinson doing this or whatever, and that would be that. Or he did great, blocking in the game for Zach Barr or whatever. They would like mention me sometimes or whatever, but not really like, I was never like a pivotal piece.
Twitter is huge, and all those other recruiting sites, and I don't really believe, 24/7 Rivals. I don't really believe in all that, like at least getting you exposure. Some people may say different things, but that's my opinion personally. I think it's a good tool to get information on other kids. Like in my situation, if I wanted to see, who's committing where and who's, getting offers where, then I can look on 24/7. They have all that there. But, sometimes the information's not always right. They don't know, they don't really have the inside scoop. So sometimes a lot of it is, kind of fabricated and all this, but Twitter is huge, at least for getting in contact with coaches. And a lot of my relationships with coaches started on Twitter. They follow me, I message them, they message me. That's how a lot of the process goes. And you just send them your huddle tape, and it's all there right there, and it's a really good tool. And it's how I got my offer to K-State. It's how I got in touch with them. So I would say Twitter is a huge tool.
I send out my film. It's mostly all done on Twitter now. Actually, my sophomore year, people were telling me about Twitter. When I first picked it up, it was like this whole football recruitment site, and I couldn't believe it. I started sending out film from direct messages to all the area coaches from here to most of the East Coast and the Southwest to just give out a big variety of all schools.
Once players have been in contact with coaches, camps have been attended, and official visits have happened, scholarship offers start to come in. This ultimate goal for any aspiring college athlete gives one the ability to play the game they love in exchange for a free education.
And then that's kind of when like a couple more offers that came in, like the JMU that I talked about, Stony Brook, Maine, Coastal Carolina, just like schools like that. And then UMass, it came out of nowhere. And that was kind of, I was like, damn, I was looking at all these other school schedules, who they play, who's went to the NFL from there. I mean, all the schools have had some person, but like in the strength of the schedule leading up to when I was going to be there, it was just like the smartest decision for me to choose UMass.
I had over 30 offers.
Okay.
The last couple of schools that it came down to, in terms of which ones I selected, was Boston College, Oregon, Notre Dame, Virginia, and I think it was Northwestern.
So I've gotten an offer from Kings, which is a D3. I've got an offer from Alvernia, which is another D3. I have 3 PSEC schools, so Westchester, East Stroudsburg, and Kutztown. I also actually just recently got a PWO offer from the University of Albany. And still kind of deciding if I want to go PSAC or D3. Still weighing my options.
I've reached out to Millersville, most of the PASEC League.
While scholarships remain the dream for high school football players, they don't always turn into reality. Many players are forced to accept a walk-on offer in order to continue their athletic career into college, where they pay tuition like a normal student with the chance of one day achieving this ever-elusive prize of a scholarship. For others, the dream offer will come only for it to be snatched away from them in an instant. Recruiting is a cutthroat business, as many recruits come to find out.
I had got they hit me up on like Twitter and then they asked for my number. And then once I gave them my number, they called me and stuff and sent me an official invite. And then when I went up there and I toured campus, they were like, "We want you, but we don't have enough scholarships." So they were like, "You go through a year of being a preferred, and then next year you work hard, we'll give you a scholarship."
I had, as a quarterback, you see positions go like that. The spots fill up. So one school, they may offer 6 or 7 kids that they really like, and then they have 4 or 5 that they're waiting. As soon as those chips fall from those first guys, then as soon as those guys, they get the new offers out. But as soon as that one guy commits, most schools only take one quarterback. That's the problem with the whole recruiting process, is that a lot of schools are only taking one. So as soon as they take that one quarterback, that offer's off the table. I had that experience with Minnesota. They were really pushing for me. They were, I was their top recruit. They got me out there for a visit. And I really liked it. I was honestly probably going to commit to them, but they took another kid before me, and they didn't really tell me he was from another grade. And it's, kind of the negative side of recruiting. But after seeing, that they did that to me, I was glad I didn't pick them, and, glad I found my spot at Kansas State.
For me. But one of the things that I started noticing at my size, somehow I was ranked in the country as a cornerback versus a safety.
Okay.
I don't think I played a down of cornerback in high school, but
Yeah.
somehow I ended up being ranked on some of these publications as a cornerback. And when I would go to, or when I would speak to coaches, that would be one of the things they would ask me. And I'm glad I got the direction that you should want to focus on going to a school that where you're confident they want you versus going to a school where you more want them than they want you.
Clearly, college football recruiting has its ups and downs. There are futures on the line for the recruits as well as the coaches holding the golden ticket. Anyone can be replaced, and sometimes the way the dominoes fall could just change everything. This cutthroat nature is the cause of much stress and demoralization throughout the process. One man's trash is truly another man's treasure, and sometimes a middleman snatches it directly from the second man's hands. Yet, once touchdowns are scored on Saturdays and degrees are earned after 4 years of hard work, the trials and tribulations endured during one's senior year of high school are truly justified. Whether they're walking across the stage in Canton to be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, or their grandkids sing happy birthday to them after 20 years of pleasant retirement, they can honestly admit that their 4 years on scholarship acted as a springboard into their future. Truly, when it comes to college football recruiting, there is more than meets the eye.